Hello, grade 8. How are you doing today? Are you excited to be at another session, class session that is? I know that you are. All right, so indeed, we are coming down nicely with the use of punctuation and being familiar with them. Yes, we are moving along quite nicely. Now, today we are continuing, however, we are using different punctuation marks. Yes, we are. Now, I want for you to quickly grab your pen, grab your books, your laptop, your gadget, whatever it is that you're going to use, ensure that you have it on board with you because we are ready. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share with you our objectives. As per usual, you know that the objectives, we must place our emphasis, we must place our attention there. So let me go ahead and share with you my screen so we can view this accordingly. All right, so what are our objectives for today? All right, so our objectives. Let's go. Where are your objectives? Awesome. All right, so by the end of this session, you should be able to explain the use of apostrophe and quotation marks. You must be able to distinguish between apostrophe and quotation marks. You must know when to use the apostrophe versus the quotation marks correctly in sentences. And you must know how to apply the punctuation rules in various scenarios. So we are going to focus on this. So as you know, our attention really today is we want to get familiar with the quotation mark and the apostrophe. All right. Guess what? I know that you're ready to learn, and I know that we're quick thinkers here. So we are going to get started with this. All right. So let me just get my board. Let me get my board. Where is my board? All right. So it's loading. All right, so I think my board is ready, so let's go. We are going to look at a Venn diagram. And I'm pretty sure that we're familiar with the use of Venn diagrams, right? We know what it is used for. All right, so let us get this on the screen. My screen is very small, but we're going to allow it to work. All right, so here we go. I think this can go a bit bigger. I know my circles are not the best. I know. Still working on my drawing skills, right? Still working on them. All right, so here we're going to put the, all right, apostrophe. And this side, what are we going to have? Beautiful, the quotation mark. Q-U-O. All right, beautiful. Now, when we talk about the apostrophe and the quotation mark, what do we know about them? Okay, so they're both punctuation marks. Okay, punctuation marks. Ensure that you're taking your notes. Thank you so much for that. All right, so you're saying quotation marks. Anything else we know about any of these marks? Anything else we know? So you were saying the apostrophe represents a single quote, all right, single quote. Okay, single quote. Shalyn, would you like to try? All right, the quotation marks you're saying, Shalyn? All right, beautiful, double. I see we're thinking critically here. Yes, I love it. So double quote. Anything else? The quotation mark. All right. So it's placed. So you're saying it is placed before and after a direct quote. All right. Before and after a direct quote. Awesome. All right. Anything else? All right. So the apostrophe, you're saying it is used as a contraction. Okay. Used as a contraction. This is T, C. Okay. Any such example of this? All right. It's IT apostrophe S. Anything else we want to share? No? All right, beautiful. Thank you so much for that information. Well done. All right, so I want for us to go in groups. Let me see. We have about 10 students. Yes, 10 of us in class today. So I'm going to divide you in groups. Yes, groups of 5. So I'm going to give you just about 3 minutes. Yes, just about 3 minutes. So I'm going to tell you what I want for you to focus on. Are we ready? Okay, so group one, you will be focusing on apostrophe. Yes? And group 2, you will be focusing on quotation mark. So what I want for you to do for me, group 1 and group 2, remember group 1 on apostrophe, group 2 quotation marks. In your group, you are going to write a possible meaning for apostrophe group 1 and for group 2 quotation mark. Write a possible meaning for the term and then state any 2 ways or any 2 reasons as to why we use these. So I'm going to put on the timer. I'm giving you just about 3 minutes to think about this. Let me get a timer. Not sure why it's not timing, but let me get 3 minutes timer on the board. All right, so here we go with the timer. The timer is ready. So I trust that you've completed that information. The time is up. So you know to do in your groups, you are going to go ahead and you're going to exchange your work. And what it means, group one, you're going to give group two your work. Yes? And group two give group one your work. Have we done that? Beautiful. So group one, find a representative from your group. I'm going to give you a minute to present the information to us. And group two, get ready to do so. So let's get the minute, the time on the screen. I'm going to give you to present your work. What's happening? All right, I think we're back on track. All right, so go ahead with your presentation, group one. All right, thank you so much, group one. Group two, the same timer will be set off for you. So go ahead, group two. Awesome job. All right, so well done with the presentation. So what I want for you now to do, keep all your response, bear in mind them from each group what was said. Yes, we are going to pay attention. We're going to get deeper at this. We're going to look deeper rather at these punctuation marks to become more familiar with them, how to use them, what they mean, and so forth. So get ready. All right. So let us go. We're going to pay attention to a short video clipping which will explain to us about the use of the quotation mark. All right, so let me just get this on the screen for us. Give me a moment, I'm getting this on the screen. All right, so let me share my screen again with you. All right, so here goes. Please pay attention to this.
Basic punctuation. In this video, you'll learn how to use quotation marks. Quotation marks are a set of curly hooks often used around sentences or phrases which show a person's exact words. Here is an example. My dad said, "You can do it." As you can see, the quotation marks right here are around the exact words my dad said. Another example is, she said, "I will try my best." Again, here are the quotation marks around the words that she said. Did you notice that both these sentences have a comma right before the opening quotation marks? That's another use for the comma. Right before every direct quote, in other words, right before you write what someone says, you need to place a comma. It's a rule. That's because you are pausing before you tell what the person says. My dad said, "You can do it." She said, "I will try my best." What is interesting is that you can write both these sentences in another way. Pay attention to what happens to the punctuation. These sentences are still showing exactly what the people are saying. Only this time, they say it first, then we learn who says it. "You can do it," said my dad. "I will try my best," she said. What happened to the punctuation in both cases? Yes, they are somewhat reversed. The quotation marks are still around the part that is spoken. But notice where the comma is this time. Inside the quotations, right before closing quotation marks. The comma is actually taking the place of the period. That's because the statement isn't finished yet. It actually ends here. Things change a little more when the sentence in quotations is a question or when it's explanatory. Here is what I mean. "Do you think you can do it?" asked my dad. "I am trying my best," she answered. This time, rather than a comma within the quotations, it ends with a question mark because the dad is asking a question. And with an exclamation mark because she's exclaiming as she's trying really hard. Fun, isn't it? Quotation marks are indeed fun to work with. You can now have your characters speak when you write stories. Thanks for watching.
All right, beautiful. So I trust that that explanation there helped you out with the use of the quotation marks. However, we are going to just dive a little deeper, right, with the use of this. So let's go to the quotation marks. All right, so may I have a reader who wants to read from it today? No one? Okay. All right, so the quotation marks are primarily used to indicate material that is being reproduced word for word. And as you saw in the video, so the direct statement, right? You put it in quotation mark because you don't want it to seem as if you're duplicating someone else's work. So, whatever the person is saying, you must show this by the use of the quotation mark. So, as well as some other important uses. So, let's dive with some examples. All right, so let us look at this. It's somewhat similar to what the video, the speaker was saying. Look at this. Now, the best investments today, you see the same example which was given by the use of the comma? According to Smith, are commodities and emerging market stocks. So the use of the quotation marks here shows what has been said directly by the speaker. Yes? So according to who? To Smith. Right. And then whatever has been said, we use the quotation marks to highlight this. Any questions about that? Any concerns? No? Yes? All right. Beautiful. So the main thing I want for you to remember with the use of the quotation mark, ensure that whatever a person actually says directly, you use the quotation mark there. So before and after. Now, unless they're part of the original quotation, all marks other than commas or periods are placed outside of the quotation mark. So we're just looking at these, the same thing which has been highlighted in the video, we're just looking at them in some of the examples. All right, so look at this. So let's go over this again. It was a mouthful, yes? So unless they are the original quotation, all marks other than commas or periods are placed outside of the quotation mark. So she provides a thorough list of problems in her most recent article, Misery in Paradise. She doesn't provide a solution. You realize what happened? You have to pay attention to your punctuation mark. So what comes before and what comes after. Yes. So I know maybe we have to practice some of these, and we probably need to re-watch the previous videos if we're not yet familiar with some of the punctuation marks. All right. Here we have another example. So wasn't it Dixon who wrote, comma, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times? So the use of the quotation mark there, you're able to see that this is what has been stated, the direct quote. Any questions? Any concerns? No? Yes? Can we move on? Okay. All right, so let us jump to the apostrophe. And take note of the sign, the symbol. Ensure that you take note of the symbol. All right? So the quotation marks, see? The curly, yes, and the apostrophe there. So here for the apostrophe, we're just seeing a single quote, but for the quotation marks, we're seeing double quotes. All right? Now, with the use of the apostrophe has three uses: contraction, plurals, and possessives. Now, contractions, example, I think one of us gave an example being it's, yes? When we were using the Venn diagram, beautiful. So the contractions, it and let and don't, didn't. So we're able to see the use here, right, of the apostrophe. Now, it has been stated that it should not be written using, in formal writing, we should not use the apostrophe. It is said that it's not appropriate for us to do so. So I am imploring us that when we're writing formally, like you're addressing maybe your teacher or your principal, whomever it is that you're going to write to, yes, maybe you need a job or something, I don't know, but whatever the reason is, ensure that in the formal writing you do not use the any of the contractions, all right, the apostrophe rather. All right, so let us look at some of the examples here. So the first one here, it's often said that every dog has its day. Let's not forget that grandma lets the kids eat way too much junk food when they stay with her. So in informal writing, it is acceptable to indicate a year with only two last digits preceded by an apostrophe, right? So I mean, when we're writing informally, most times we don't write out the words. Most times we don't do that. But I want for you to bear in mind to ensure that you do not use the apostrophe when you're writing formally. All right? In the plural sense, this is rarely used, right? The apostrophe is seldomly used to form the plural noun. And I'm pretty sure that we looked at nouns already, so you're familiar with what I'm saying. And here is an example. Since the 1980s, the Thomases, both of whom have multiple PhDs, have sold old books and magazines at the fair on Saturdays and Sundays. All right, so I'm pretty sure that you're familiar with that. All right, any questions, any concerns? No? Yes? No questions? Beautiful. All right. So for your activity, what I want for you to do in your groups, group 1, you are going to write 8 sentences showcasing, demonstrating the use of the apostrophe. Yes. So group 1, you are working with the apostrophe. So you're going to write 8 sentences, and group 2, you're also going to write 8 sentences demonstrating the use of or showcasing rather the use of the quotation marks. And for your assignment, I want you I'm going to provide in the description rather a worksheet in which you're going to insert the quotation marks and the apostrophe in each sentence. Yes, that is it for today. It was a pleasure being here with you, and I'm saying bye for now.